Aldrich Press, Associate Justice Schoen. On a scale of 1 to 10, how prepared were the lawyers this year and why?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it an 8, and I would, in my opinion, they grow over the week, so they may come prepared, but maybe another lawyer team gave some insight about case law that they didn't know. So I feel like over the course of the week, I believe everybody ends up as a 10.
Griffith Press, Associate Justice Hooper. What inspired you to become a justice?
Well, law has always been one of my passions. I'm actually thinking about pursuing law as a career. And my sister did youth and government. She went to UFOG as well. And she told me about the Supreme Court as one of the components. And so I came here as a freshman, and I was a lawyer team for freshman and sophomore year. And I didn't run as a freshman just because I enjoyed being a lawyer just as much as wanting to be a justice. So I continued to be a lawyer for the next year, and then I ran my sophomore year, and I was a justice last year. And so just the passion that I have for law and the Supreme Court now just pushed me to become a justice. So did that answer the question? I honestly can't remember the question.
Thompson Press. Your Honor, Associate Justice Wright, are you planning on pursuing law as a career?
Yes, I actually am. I have looked at many schools, and one of the basic criteria of any school I look at is if they have a law school as a master's program. I feel like that law is, among all the things we do here at the Youth and Government Conference, law is one of the overarching themes, because even in the legislature they're proposing pieces of law. We are debating pieces of law and their unconstitutionality or constitutionality, however it may be. And the press is covering these pieces of law and how these legislation may affect us. The GovCab will propose their own legislation, and they debate on whether their legislation is within the mainframe of our Miss Governor Reed's platform. So I believe that law is very vital, and I thoroughly enjoy acting as the Associate Justice under Chief Justice Davenport and hearing all of the lawyers' amazing arguments and how they've prepared and how they grow over the conference, which is another one of my favorite things about law, that it's always changing and can always be interpreted differently based on who you ask. So, yes.
Your Honors, final question. Any advice you would like to give to your first-time delegates here in court?
I'll start out. I think that you guys heeded kind of the advice that was given to you before the conference really well. You all came very prepared. But as we go into these last 2 days, which are definitely the most stressful parts of the court component, staying up all night for final case today, to remember that the end goal of this here is to just develop kind of a passion and an understanding of how the appellate court system works. I would advise you all not to get too straight out, too caught up in winning the verdict, and more just on making friends with the court system in general, so you can come back next year and have an even better time.
To grow on Chief Justice Davenport's question, I feel like, other than the rebuttals that we give after every case and every critique that we may provide, that you are all taking into account very well. Just having fun with the court is really a large part of this conference, because it's so easy to sit where you sit. I was sitting where you sat last year, and either get so tired and doze off, or focus so much on your judicial review cases that we're about to hear that you're not necessarily having as much fun with the type of cases and the type of arguments that we're presenting. And with the legislature, we all hear what stuff they've done, what nice motions they passed, what bills have passed. The tomfoolery committee is a part of the legislature essentially, but the court is always seen as a much more serious and much more severe component. But I do feel like that if anybody can make it fun and you can have as much fun as you can over the course of this conference, it is you guys, the lawyers. So.
Thank you. Sorry.
No, you're done.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honors.